What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Escape the Matrix podcast. Here I am your host, Albert Powell. And man, today we have a special guest, a really special guest. And this is going to be a very special episode. A lot of information, a lot of insights going to be given, as always, just like every single episode. But this one is going to be really good for people that are looking to break into tech or just looking to just have a little bit of a career change, specifically in the tech space. There's none other than the person that we have here on, today for the show. So we have here none other than the Give Me Higher Kristi, a.k.a. Kristi Kinnebrew. Kristi, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for asking. Yeah, no, I'm really excited, and I do appreciate the fact that you're here with me today. You could have been literally anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that.
No, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited and can't wait to get into it. Let's get into the details.
Yes, of course. So I know there's a lot. There's a lot to get into, but I know the audience, they want to jump straight into the gyms. We'll get to the gyms.
You got to dig for the gym.
That's right. You got to dig for them, right? So we'll get there. So don't worry. But I want to take a little bit of time for people that don't know who you are, and for those that don't. If you're on Instagram or if you're on TikTok, may or may not know. But if you're on LinkedIn, there's a 9 times out of 10, 90% chance you've seen this face before on LinkedIn. She has a pretty healthy following, if I do say so myself. A pretty healthy following of about, 201,000 plus, something like that.
Something like that.
So, I mean, count. Yeah, I mean, who's counting, right? Yeah, so who is, let's start off with that. Kristi, who's Kristi, and where are you from?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for having me. My name is Kristi. In my day job, I am a technical talent sourcer for Microsoft, looking to find the best software engineering talent, attracting them to Microsoft's culture, putting them through an amazing interview process, and ultimately helping to land them get an offer. In my day job, my name is Get Me Hired, Kristi. And so basically what I do is I help job seekers that are looking to get into entry-level roles or those that are looking to transition careers, identify their transferable skills. And so that is what I do. That's a little bit about me.
That's awesome. That's awesome there. So based off of your LinkedIn profile, and correct me if I'm wrong, pretty much all of your, or at least a majority of your professional experience, it actually comes from tech. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much everything I've been doing since after college has been something in the tech field, yes.
Got you. So coming out of college, did you, I guess, always have that on your mind? Or I guess, how did you land in tech? How'd that happen?
Not at all. Well, let me tell you the story. I went to college at the University of Texas at Austin. Hook 'em! And for anybody that got anything to say.
Yeah.
Went to the University of Texas at Austin, and I thought I was going to get a degree in sports management. So it's like one of those paths where you have to start off with kinesiology, and then you have to pass economics and write an essay and all that stuff to get into the sports management path. That didn't happen. I didn't pass economics the first time, got a D the second time, so I wasn't qualified to get into sports management. I still did a couple internships, so I interned for the women's basketball team that was there, but ended up getting my degree in kinesiology ultimately, and was at a career fair, was looking for people that was hiring, saw people from T in my same degree plan that went to Oracle. So I started my career off in tech sales at Oracle, went through a whole sales training program. They flew us out to California, to San Jose, and I literally learned everything about the program within 3 weeks, came back and was selling cloud.
Awesome. That's awesome there. So there's a lot of transitioning for you from college and from the path that you were looking to go down and to end up landing in tech, right? And even still, being in tech to this day, obviously you're a recruiter for Microsoft, right? Mm-hmm. Still being in tech from today. So you go from tech sales to recruiter. There's some similarities, but what caused you to transition from tech sales to more of a recruiter role?
Yeah, and I love to talk about, there's still a lot of transferable skills, even when you're transitioning within the tech space. And so that's one of my favorite things to kind of talk about, and I feel like people could really relate to it even then. But my main reasoning for moving over from sales to tech recruiting was I wanted to help people on a more individual level. So when I was in tech sales, I was responsible for researching the companies, seeing how our products will be able to help that company overall, and helping small businesses and businesses within the public sector, firehouses, police departments, things like that. So that's kind of the area I was working in. But I was like, you know what? I want to do this one-on-one, and I want to do this for my community, so the Black and brown people within my community, so that they can get into the spaces like this and ultimately make some money.
That's amazing there. And me being a new tech person, for lack of just transitioned to tech from insurance. And since being in here and seeing what the opportunity can be for everybody, but specifically for people that look like us, for Black and brown people, it's like, man, now I'm even more of an advocate for people to come into the tech industry, because it's amazing. And truth be told, it's life-changing. If you can kind of wiggle your way through the right way, and you can ultimately come out on top in a major way and change the financial trajectory for you while you're still living, and also for your family for generations to come. So it's a big thing that I'm an advocate for. I'm just like, hey, look, for anybody that's interested, and even if you're not interested, you should at least give it a look. But a lot of us should look at coming into tech. I mean, if you want to go down the medical field, completely fine. We need doctors, we need nurses too. But if that's not your thing, take a look at tech, because it may have something for you, maybe a good fit for it.
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely agree. I'm glad that we kind of work on the same path, and we have people like me and you that are helping and reaching out and putting out information so that people can know about this. And I know we'll get into it later, but I'm so tired of the working multiple jobs. I'm so tired of paycheck to paycheck for my people. And so, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's big there. And being in an industry like this can allow you to kind of separate from being in survival mode.
Yeah.
Right. Living from paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. Right. It's an unfortunate reality for a lot of people that we know or know of, and it's time to break out of that. Yeah. So by any means necessary, legally, of course. So let's kind of jump straight into it. So as mentioned, you are a tech recruiter for one of the top companies, number one, number two. For you, at least, I want to ask you this: what are some of the common mistakes that you see applicants that they make on their resumes? Let's kind of jump straight into it.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So I have my own personal opinion about resumes, but the most common mistake that I see has to be format. Okay. I think people have the tendency to get really fancy. They want their resume to stand out. When you're submitting it through the ATS system is very, just very standard.
Right.
So you don't have to be super fancy whenever, you're submitting your application online. So I think format is going to be the biggest thing. And then I want people to really understand the bullet points. I really would like to see more of impact, metrics, things like that within your bullet points. Okay. What are some changing factors that you played in your previous company or the company that you're currently at? Got you.
And that's even for me, for my transition from industry to industry, that was something that I was taught. Whenever I did my transition, I got in contact with a mentor. You actually may know him, Elliot Dunlap at Microsoft. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? Okay. So he's a big time guy. But anyways, him and just a few other people that he also mentored previously as well, and just continuing to mentor, they helped me. And whenever I gave him my resume, it was okay, right? But it wasn't like the standard, right? It's not fitting for what is it you call the ATS ATS resume system, right? And I'm thinking, it needs to be this elaborate, like artsy, almost looking thing. It doesn't, not even close. It's like just plain black and white. If anything, a few things bolded here and there, italics if necessary, but That's it. Like it needs to be, it just needs to be clean. So that's, I'm glad you touched on that because a lot of people, they do make that mistake thinking that it needs to be just this fancy, almost templated Canva template type of resume.
Those look really good. They look really good, but it doesn't have to be all of that. And I hate to judge people on their resumes because I haven't always been the best at my own personal resume. I recently did a post not too long ago saying like I look at resumes all day, but can you believe me? Would you believe me if I told you? I can't even do my own resume.
Right.
So I'm very patient when it comes to resumes, but I think your standing out point, the point where you're going to stand out, the point that's going to really help you land the job is going to be that LinkedIn profile.
Okay.
But, that's my unpopular opinion.
And we're definitely going to take some time to hop into that a little bit more because I think in terms of people looking to get hired anywhere, it's kind of like a two-parter, right? One part is your resume, that's important, but the other part is your LinkedIn, and having that brand clean, nice, concise, and it looks fitting for the roles you're looking to fulfill. So I know we're going to definitely hop into that. So I'm excited for that part. Let me ask you this: when it comes to networking, from someone going from previous industry to the tech, for you, how important is it to network just with the right people in terms of getting hired?
Right now in this job market, in this industry, it's all about who you know. It's mainly about who you know, not what you know. You are going to have to network. And you're going to have to reach out to people that's in the field that you want to be in, that's doing the dream job that you want to be in. You need to be connected with them somehow, some way. So it is very important, especially going through the times that we are in now. Someone's going to have to pull your application. Someone's going to have to back you up with a referral. Someone is going to have to say good things about you, speak on your behalf, something. That's how important networking is right now.
Yeah, and I agree because right now we're in economic uncertainty at the end of the day, and there's a lot of companies that are, getting a little bit lean on their for their staffing, of course. And so for people that are still looking to get into tech, it can look a little bit intimidating, but these companies are still hiring, all things considered. And so it is important that, that we should look to network in addition to doing our own work as well, in terms of, hey, having a LinkedIn, the resume, everything should be, nice and put in place. So whenever you do get in contact with that person, man or woman, whoever they may be, you're prepared. And they can actually give you a shot in terms of, getting into that room or at least just getting the interview, right? That's the first thing.
Be prepared.
Yeah,
definitely.
For sure. So let me ask you this, because I know the tech industry can be a little intimidating for some people on many fronts, but just the industry and what people do. Right. For people that are just from the outside looking in, that can be a little intimidating for some folks. What are some roles that you'd like to mention that don't even require any tech experience or previous tech skills that, people that are looking to get into tech, what are some of the things that they can do to kind of land their job without having any tech experience? Yeah,
no, I love this part, actually, since this is kind of what I do in the night job.
Yeah.
So first off, I want to say that you can be in tech without being technical, okay? I can't code a lick of anything, okay? And have been in tech for most of my industry career. So it is definitely possible. I want to let you know that. Some of the roles that are out there that I see are kind of easier transitions for someone that is not necessarily in tech right now is going to be your tech sales. That's how I started off. That was, something straight out of college. I didn't have any experience, had a degree in kinesiology. And so tech sales is going to be something that's more so like an entry level or a good transition. Your project coordinator, project manager type of roles. You can throw a party together. You know how to event plan. You've did stuff step by step and put things together. At the end, you have a beautiful masterpiece. And so that is something that's very transferable into one of the tech roles that you could do. I also see some customer success managers. You see those sometimes as well. That's a good one. People that this is more so for people that are looking to transition, but that program manager type of role, I see that as well. Sometimes there's entry levels, but sometimes there's entry level
Yeah.
for that one. Sometimes they require like a lot of experience, or just kind of, sometimes there's technical experience that's involved with that too. But I see that sometimes. But mainly that's going to be your, oh my God, how could I forget? Recruiting.
There we go.
How could I forget? It just completely slipped my mind. I was like, what else?
So I was like, something's missing. Yeah.
But recruiting, definitely. If you are good with working with people, I see a lot of teachers transition over somebody that's very social. If you're used to meeting metrics already, really good at sending emails or crafting up some type of email, something to attract people. I think recruiting is also a really good one as well. So those would be kind of like my top 3, 4.
Okay, cool, and that's perfect. And in that same vein, let's kind of stay on the topic of like transferable skills, right? So for people that are transitioning into tech, and I know you're seeing it pretty much every day. More people are getting transitioned into tech, right? That may not have any technical skills, right? Getting into tech without being technical. I liked how you worded that. What are some of the things that you're seeing from those that are successful, that actually get those job offers into the tech roles? What are some of the things that you're seeing in terms of either the process or what they do? What are just some of those things that you're seeing?
Yeah, so I like to break it down between kind of like your soft skills and your harder transferable skills.
Gotcha.
So when we talk about soft transferable skills, we are talking about listening. We're talking about organization. You know, those are kind of pretty transferable to any of the roles there.
Right.
And then you may think about, okay, I'm able to meet metrics, right? Like I was able to, for example, within sales, I had a quarterly metric that I had to meet as far as how many deals I closed. Whenever I went over to recruiting, there was a monthly metric that I had to achieve of how many hires I can get. And so using that and saying that, like, hey, I'm able to not only achieve but exceed my metrics, that's like a transferable skill as well. Yeah. Being able to talk to people, communication. And then again, like I mentioned before, being able to be very crafty, creative, and doing research.
Yeah.
Being research heavy is going to be a big transferable skill. And last but not least, you can't forget networking is going to be something that is really big.
That's good. And kind of staying in that same vein in terms of like networking, let's kind of take a second to hop back into LinkedIn, right? Okay. It'll be fair to say you're like a master at LinkedIn right now.
Ooh,
for sure.
I like that.
Yeah. It'll be fair to say that with the healthy following that you have and just a brand that you have on LinkedIn, it'll be fair to say that. So talk about the importance of LinkedIn just in general for people looking to transition, just to get a new job in general, but obviously emphasizing on people looking to get into tech. And why is it important for people to engage after they've created their account? Let's talk about the importance of that.
Yeah, let's get into it. I was talking about this yesterday at the conference, and let me tell you, I cannot believe the amount of people that do not have a LinkedIn talking about they want to get into tech. I just don't get it. But LinkedIn is very important for both your professional and your personal growth. So building your brand for yourself, and also just being able to highlight your achievements throughout your career, I think is going to be super important. If you want access, and LinkedIn is important for networking, and networking is important for landing that new job, or like I said, you're going to have to know somebody nowadays in order to get into somewhere. And so that is how you find the people. That was one of the reasons why I created Get Me Hired Kristi, because I saw that there was a lack of access to these entry-level roles, these roles that you can use your transferable skills. I have a network filled with recruiters, and I see jobs posted every day. They're looking for people with no experience, looking for people, less than 1-2 years of experience. And the people that qualify for these roles in my community aren't on LinkedIn. And so I was able to take those jobs, put them on TikTok and Instagram, transfer them over to those platforms in those types of ways, so that people could see them. I attached a recruiter, and they're like, "Oh, how do I reach out? How do I get this job? How do I reach out?" You gotta go create a LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So it's a full cycle moment. Now that I've been doing it for like 1.5 years now, so that people are now realizing the importance of LinkedIn, that the network is on LinkedIn and the recruiters are on LinkedIn, and so now they're going and they're seeing the importance of it, and it just makes me so happy. But everyone that's especially looking to get into tech, looking to break into tech, I truly believe that you need a LinkedIn.
Agreed. And let's take a little bit of time to kind of dive into it a little bit more. So let's just say, for example, you have that person that just created their LinkedIn. They saw one of your job listings, and let's say they're kind of struggling to put together their network. What are some things that you would share to that new LinkedIn account creator to have them build their network, see the right opportunities to potentially have them, start off with that interview process with the company?
Yeah, of course. I love this question. I love people that are brand new getting into it. Like, all right, let's get you right. Because after this, it's going to be incoming jobs. But I would say to that person, make sure your profile is completely filled out. We want it to be, you want to have the all-star. I think LinkedIn calls it the all-star profile where everything is filled out. So make sure you have a good headshot, that you have a cover shot, you have all of your jobs filled in, everything's filled out.
Okay.
And then we want to start connecting or following, So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start following some recruiters that recruit at your favorite companies for your favorite roles, right? The roles that you're looking to get into. So we're going to start following recruiters. And another thing that I would suggest to someone brand new, start connecting with people that are in the role that you want to be in, regardless of the company. Because one thing that I found very helpful, once you kind of get your profile together, once you start following and connecting with these certain people, you can start reaching out for coffee chats. 15 minutes, that's all you need to ask a couple questions. And you want to ask, when you get on that coffee chat, ask that person about their journey and see what their journey was, and pick out of that to see what you can apply to your journey so that you can get into that same type of role that you're in. So connect with recruiters, follow with recruiters, start connecting and following people that are in your dream roles. And that will be a good start. You start to see what they're posting. You start to comment because you're going to be active. You got to be active on LinkedIn. And then you start posting things about yourself.
That's good. And let me ask you this, because you said something. Let's take a second to summarize. So if you're just creating your LinkedIn, first things first, follow and connect with Kristi Kennebrew. First things first, follow and connect with her. That's the first thing. No, I'm just playing. But in addition to connecting with recruiters, hiring managers, and just people that are in the position that you're looking to fulfill one day. Let me ask you this. In terms of reaching out to recruiters, is there a certain way, or I should probably ask like this. What is the best, or the most effective way for someone to reach out to a recruiter? Because, recruiters are getting messages every single day, all the time. What do you think are some of the most effective ways for that person to get the attention of that recruiter and hopefully, kind of roll the dice in terms of starting that process?
Yeah, I would definitely say do your research. That is going to be the first thing. Now, I'm a little bit different. I like LinkedIn. I usually try to answer every message that comes in, but I know not every recruiter does that, and not every recruiter is obligated to respond back to you. So some things that can help you stand out. Do your research first. Go on that recruiter's profile and see what it is that they're recruiting for. Usually they have it somewhere on their profile, or you can look through some of their posts to see what they've posted about before. I have it all laid out. I recruit for software engineers in the Dallas, Atlanta, Redmond area. 2 years of experience is listed out, but some people miss it. So do a little bit of research on that recruiter, and go to their profile and just kind of do some research there. If not, you can there's a search function within LinkedIn. You can just go to the search box and you can type in UX design recruiter for this company or whatever company. And then usually recruiters will pop up there, and then you can go through their profiles there and kind of look through. That's kind of what I teach people to do when they're looking and searching for the right recruiter, if it's not already on the job. Sometimes you may see the recruiter already on the job. But the way that a good message will go once you find the right person, or if you don't, I'll start off. If you don't find the right person, you just can't find anybody that recruits for the role that you're looking for. You can reach out and you can say, hey, my name is so-and-so. I know that you don't necessarily recruit for UI, UX designers, but I was wondering if you can point me in the right direction. Here's the job ID or the job link. Any help or advice that you can give would be very helpful. Thanks. That's something if you can't find the right person. You ask for direction.
That's good.
And then if you have someone that, okay, I'm going to reach out to Kristi. I know she recruits for software engineers. I got 2 years. I'm ready. Hi, Kristi. My name is so-and-so. I did a little bit of research. I saw that you recruited for software engineers. I just hit my 2-year mark. I'm super excited about the company. Is there any way that we could connect this week or next? Looking forward to hearing from you soon. And by the way, here's the job ID.
Gotcha.
So those are kind of the difference. One thing I will say, I get a lot of rude messages, and I don't know if they're meant to come off that way, but I feel like people are feel very entitled sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have a job for me? Hey, can you take a look at my resume and see what fits? Hey, what jobs at your company fits my profile? Hey, take a look at my profile and see what I'm a good fit for.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
that ain't gonna work.
That's not it. That's not it. I just need you to do a little bit of research first, and I'm gonna help you out.
Right.
I'm gonna always help you out. I'm gonna always point you in the right direction if I can't help you myself. So.
No, that's good there. I'm glad you touched on that because it's important for people to know what to say or be encouraged to say something along the line of X, Y, Z, but knowing what not to say is important as well because some people just not having LinkedIn etiquette in terms of reaching out to people. Say, hey, look, can you look at my profile? What you got for me? Like, that's 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna really get a response. And if you do get a response, it's probably not gonna be the response that you're looking for.
And I only recruit for software engineers, right? And so you reach it out for something that may be a little bit more entry level or something that's non-technical. I'm like, I have no idea how that interview process works, and unless it's recruiting, I can tell you about that. But I'm not sure what that role is looking for or how detailed or, is it niche or anything like that. So I really don't know. And a lot of things that people don't understand as well is that when it comes to some of the bigger companies, recruiters only recruit for certain areas.
Right.
So I don't recruit for everything. Compared to some smaller companies, you may have one recruiter that recruits for different types of roles.
Everything.
So we're really split up, and I wouldn't know anything about other areas, unfortunately.
Yeah. And that's good that you mentioned that there because some people, they see recruiter and they think, oh, well, this person can help me. I mean, they may be able to give you direction if they respond, right? But if that's not the area that they're just focused on recruiting for, then it's going to be hard for them to even be able to speak to what that process may look like, right? So I'm glad you brought that up. So there's something I want to talk about. Yeah, there's something I want to talk about. Something that happened here not too long ago. Right. So, okay, we're still here in 2023, right? And there's still hints of racism out there. Obviously, you and I, we experience it in different environments all the time. And people want to ultimately, quote unquote, silence you to a certain degree, right? In the corporate world. So I know you've received some comments on your hair, which, by the way, your hair looks great.
Thank
by
you.
the way. No problem.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I know you've received some comments on your hair in the past, just for you, just being yourself. Talk to us about the importance of people being themselves in any environment, but specifically just in the corporate world or in the tech industry or just in the tech environment. Why is it important for people to just be themselves?
Yeah, and it's so crazy because that comment that I received I don't work with this person. It was unsolicited. It was very random. I don't even know where it came from.
Yeah,
right?
just out of the
Basically, just out of the blue. And so, go visit my LinkedIn page. It's on there. It's in the features. Okay, so you can see it's the first thing that's gonna pop up. But I think it's super important, and I think sometimes it's a struggle because being here in Texas, it's not against the law to discriminate. Not yet. Now
Right.
we just got sent. The Crown Act just got sent over to the Senate not too long ago. So hopefully, fingers crossed, things
Yeah.
turn positive. But it's not against the law to discriminate against someone because of their hair. I do think it's important for you as you're doing your job search to find a company that is very inclusive. I know now I've worked at some companies that I haven't felt a part of, I haven't felt inclusive. So I think when you're looking for the right tech company to go into, or any company in general, be sure to research the culture and if they are really about the talk of diversity and
Right.
inclusion.
Right.
So I think that's going to be super important when you're looking for your next role.
That's good there. And the recurring theme of this interview is several things, but one of them is being proactive in regards to doing your research. Right. Because do your research for just the company. Do your research for the position that you're looking to fill. Do your research on the recruiters or people that work in that company that you're trying to connect with on LinkedIn. All of it is important. And especially when we're looking at, diverse people looking to fulfill roles that it's starting to grow now, but just traditionally years prior, we're not in these roles. Right. It is important that for us and everybody to do their own research, to just say, okay, hey, is this something that they're doing just for to be compliant, right? Just to fit in, or is this real? Like, do they really prioritize, diversity, equity, and inclusion? Right.
And can I talk a little bit about just how to find out more about culture?
Of course.
So I feel like people ask about it in interviews. And of course, somebody's going to give you the generic answer. Oh, our culture is great here. We're so inclusive and things like that. But I would suggest, just to learn a little bit more about the culture that's going on in the company, is to reach out to a person of color, someone black and brown, on LinkedIn that works at that company. Ask for a 15-minute coffee chat and see from there what their experience is.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go to the source and see what's going on. And you're going to have to go to multiple sources because people have different experiences within each company. So
that's good. That's good there. And so I appreciate you for sharing really all of that insight there. This has been great. I want to take a little bit of time to kind of highlight, promote, and talk a little bit more about your night job.
Okay. Part-time.
Your part-time. I want to take a little bit of time to figure out more about the brand and the business that you've created. Give Me Higher Kristi on Instagram. And it's the same on TikTok as well, right?
Yep.
So Give Me Higher Kristi.
And
Facebook. So nice. Okay. Shameless plug there. So let me ask you this. I know you said it's important for people to get into tech, but talk to us a little bit more in terms of why you even decided to, really put this brand and put this business together.
Yes, of course. I saw the lack of access that people within my community had to these tech jobs. There are so many different apprenticeships and just entry-level roles, and I saw recruiters posting about, if you have, or I'll see job descriptions that say, if you have something similar to these skills, we're not expecting you to have all of these skills, but if you're pretty close, go ahead and apply. And people not being on LinkedIn, people being scared of LinkedIn or thinking LinkedIn's too professional, or I'm not professional enough to be on LinkedIn. It's a problem because now you are going where? Where are you going to look for a job? Indeed. And so
please, let's be real.
We can't. No. And so I wanted to start this because the lack of access to these entry-level roles, to these roles where you can use your transferable skills. Again, I am so over my people living paycheck to paycheck, being in poverty. I want to help start generational wealth. I've made the most money I've ever made before, and just increasing my tech knowledge, right? And I'm not technical. Right. And so imagine if I knew how to code.
Right.
Let me take a boot camp.
Yeah, look, it's up.
But just being within this space, not only have I increased my financial reach, but also I have a lot of work-life balance. I'm able to spend time with my family. I don't have any kids, but if my mama need me, I can go pick up my brother and sister.
Yeah.
I can go, I have a lot of flexibility, and I want that same thing for my people as well. I don't want you living paycheck to paycheck. I don't want you working multiple jobs to where you can't stay with your kids or do something for your mom. I want you to be remote or hybrid. Sometimes we got to go into the office.
Yeah.
But I just want you to have more money and just a better health, mental health overall, and wellness.
Yeah. No, that's amazing there. And I would add this point too, in addition to not living check to check, paycheck to paycheck, and having the flexibility to, work from home, right? That work-life balance, right? But in addition to that, I also want to see people not having to work until the day that they die.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's a lot of us, and in specific, a lot of men really that work until the day they die, when truth be told they don't have to, right? So whenever you are put in a position where you're financially growing, right, you're making more money, it allows you to do several things, right? One of the biggest reasons as to why I put this whole podcast together. It's a business and financial education podcast, but it's also financial education with it too, right? So we're going to teach you how to earn money, how to get that job, right? But it's also important that people understand how to manage and grow their money as well. So you can make all the money in the world if you don't know how to manage it. You're still going to be living check to check, even if you're making six figures. And it's an unfortunate reality for some people out there, but it doesn't have to be. So I'm glad that you touched on that.
Yeah, I can get them through the first part.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can pass them to you about the financial part. I'm still learning as well. Of
course.
Stocks have always been like a new thing to me as well. Came with my package coming into Microsoft. So that's something I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to build up because I wasn't taught that growing up as well. And I think that's another thing too. Like I remember where I came from, and I remember, people taking chances on me and me not having directions. When I was in college, I didn't know you could do an internship at Google or Microsoft. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And so now it's my responsibility to like give back in the ways that I know how.
Right. Of course. And that's good there. Ah, man, this has been a blast. I'm not gonna lie. There's been so much information that you've shared, with me, that you shared with the audience, and I know the audience is definitely appreciative of it. Kristi, where can the party people find you?
Okay, party people. If you're looking for an entry-level role or a role where you can use your transferable skills, be sure to connect with me and reach out to me on @GetMeHiredKristi. That is on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. I'm mostly popping on Instagram, but you can follow me on those sites. And if you are interested in something more so with Microsoft, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. That's Kristi Kennebrew. And be sure to interact and make sure your messages are good so that I can respond back to them. But yes, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Of course. So thank you for that. And for those that are watching on YouTube, I'll make sure that I have all that information in the description below. And if you're listening to the video or if you're listening to the podcast, anywhere that you listen to podcasts, it's going to be in the description as well. So feel free to go check that out once you finish listening.
Can I add one more thing?
Of course, always.
I want to do my tagline for y'all.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Get me hired, Kristi. Okay, I got you.
Okay, you got it. Perfect. And today's Sunday. So for those that follow her on Instagram, y'all know what that means, right? Y'all should know what that means. So what happens on Sunday?
Job search Sunday.
So that's right.
Wait, I gotta say it right.
Yeah. So okay, I'll give you one chance. Go ahead and do the full thing. The full thing. Go ahead.
Get me hired, Kristi. Okay, I got you. Welcome to Job Search Sunday.
Yeah. That's awesome. No, this has been really fun, and I really do appreciate you for being on here and sharing the information that you shared. So now that people know, where to find you. Now they have some things they can take with them in terms of just actionable steps to get started into their transition into tech, in terms of starting their LinkedIn, who to reach out to, how to reach out. things to be mindful of on their resume. All that's important. But I guess my last question for you is this: anything you want to leave with the audience, before we split and part ways?
I just want to let you know that you can do this. You got this.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that I always end when it comes to my posts. Know that transferable skills are real, and know that you got this. It just takes a little bit of time. It's going to take a little bit of research. Things don't happen overnight. But if you put in the work, you can land that dream job that you want. And I'm here to help you. So,
Awesome. Everybody, there you have it. We have the Kristi Kennebrue, a.k.a. Give Me Higher Kristi. She said she got us. She said she got us, and for sure, she shared a lot of great information. So I hope you guys found this valuable. If you guys did, go ahead and like the video. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and share with somebody else. This information here is valuable. It could literally be life-changing. So make sure that you share it with somebody else. It could really make some positive impacts for them. So there you guys have it. Kristi, again, thank you. Kristi, thank you so much again. And until next time, you guys be safe.